All right, team, we'll get started in about 3 minutes. 3 minutes, starting at 7:05. All right. Good morning, team. Chuck with Traders War Room. Let's go ahead and get started. First chart we want to look at is we want to go ahead and check SPY. So right over here, we got the 5-minute and the 15-minute chart on SPY. If you watched my video last night, you kind of know my levels on SPY. Basically, when we look out a little bit further, we're going to check over here first. Let's go out a little bit further on this. Look how tight we've been trading in SPY, okay? Very tight, all right? Very tight over here. See this, how tight of a consolidation zone we are? Now, this is what interests me in SPY, particularly because when you start to trade in these tight ranges like this starts to get really interesting on the particular areas in which we're looking for movements. Now, of course, we got the battle zone and we're looking for a break either to the upside or to the downside. And of course, we got about a $10 range, okay? So we got about 460 here, we got 450 here, and we're kind of rangy inside of here within about $7 bumping around, right? But we're looking for that break and that flush towards the 460 to the upside and the 450 to the downside. Now, what is interesting is as you look at the longer charts, we're starting to converge on moving averages on each other, which is a sign of an impending movement happening. And if we go ahead and get rid of, this was the last class I did where I had all these RSIs and, and everything on here, huh? Yeah. Let's go ahead and move this. Okay. And let's go ahead and add the MAC, right? The MACD here. Okay. If we look at this, we start to look at this MACD, we're starting to get some of this divergence, right? As we rise up here, we continue to rise. We're starting to rise and stay elevated. We're starting to descend here as well. Also, the RSI, the stock RSI, right, is starting to give us this descending thing. I mean, we've been overbought for a minute. I mean, 80. Look at this, 80. We've been flush over 80. on the SPY for a while, right? So we're looking pretty overbought, looking like we could have some downtrending pressure coming. But I don't want you guys to get too excited on the downtrending pressure and get too overzealous, because here's the deal, right? We don't really have anything stopping us in the way of continuing to excel to the upside, right? We don't have, any Fed decisions or anything really for a couple weeks and stuff. So, the likelihood of us continuing this rally and this push is high, as long as we keep the earnings positive and we keep the sentiment bullish and the bulls stay in charge of the market. I think we have a good opportunity to continue to, push to the upside. Now, when we go back into the chart here, of course, we're looking at the 15-minute. Here's our rangy thing, our box that we had, our box of probability, right? And of course, we got our battle zone here. We're a little under our battle zone right now on the 15-minute chart. So what we're basically looking for is we're looking for the hold underneath the battle zone when the bell happens. And then if we hold underneath this, we're looking for the continuation to the downside, to the first target, where we're expecting to probably have some resistance and a little bit of rejection. If we pop above and we start to close above this on the 15-minute chart would be the best. We trade off the 15-minute chart is where we get our confirmation. Then we're probably looking for that push, that flush to the upside where we can start to go long on the day and look to reattack these previous highs and stuff like this. If you notice, oh, why isn't I don't have any pre-market times in here? Why not? Hang on. Let me try to fix this real quick. Ah, boom. There we go. All right. Now let's go back to it. All right. There we go. Now we're in an extended period over here. This chart. Oops. Hello. There we go. All right. We're actually above in the extended period. That makes a lot more sense now. Okay. So we're looking like we are wanting to run. So we're going to watch. We're going to watch for our movement holding above our battle zone area. We're going to look for a run towards, right? And again, we're looking for another thing. If we start to sink below here, we can also play the movement from here to here. If we start to lose this movement that we have here, we can play the movement here, because this is still a pretty decent movement, right? This is 456 to 454. That's a $2 movement on SPY. If we start to lose this at the bell, we start to get the signals to the downside, we can play this towards the battle zone where we can expect to see a little bit of fluctuation, because that was where the last point of consolidation, where we had, support, basically, support or resistance line. So we're looking for that down here. So if we start to lose this momentum that we're starting to see, we can play the downward trend here, but we would need to expect to most likely have resistance and probably rejection here. Now, if we accepted it and we flushed, then we'd look for that target to the downside as well. But we'd have to be prepared to go ahead and accept, some monies at this point here, because that's the area where we had the last part of price action consolidation. Let's go ahead and go into the Qs. All right. Ooh, a fresh chart. We didn't do the Qs. So let's go ahead and look at the fresh chart on the Q. All right. 5 minute here. Look like we're starting to elevate, kind of looking like SPY. We got a little bit of some wicking down here at the bottom. And good thing about wicks, when you got a fresh chart and you haven't had anything, this can easily act as intraday's stuff. So let's go ahead and start putting some lines on here. So I'm going to go ahead and make this. It's my bottom level. I'm going to go ahead and make a previous high point, right? And I don't want it to be like so close to it, right? I need a little bit more. So I'm going to go up here. That's going to be our high point. Okay. High target, low target. And right here is our current battle zone. All right. And now basically what we're going to do is we're going to kind of create triggers off of here, you know, for us to kind of give us some understanding. So, you know, we got a little bit of, you know, just all we're doing is looking for ideas once that bell rings on what we can do for potential movements, right? If we start to trigger up here, you know, this 391.50 area, right? We start to close above that, specifically on a 5-minute chart, probably a good opportunity for a long up push towards the bow, towards the high target, and continuation to the upside. We'll probably go long, you know, and these targets up here, these can act as our signals, right? We could probably go 393s, 394s if we want to, right? Then, but if we can't, we're probably looking for the push to the downside. So let's go ahead and put some triggers on here. Well, go ahead and put, I like that area, boom, trigger. Right, boom. And you know what, all we're doing is we're looking for tables. When we look for triggers, we're just looking for tables, right? And when I say tables, I'm looking for, and I'll show you here in a second. All right, boom. Oops. All right, I'm looking for tables, right? Areas of high price action, okay? Just stuff that has a lot of meat and potatoes here, or near areas, right? So there's a lot of price action here, and we had near areas here, which is an area above here that gives us nice upward momentum, right? Same thing down here. Nice price action here, lots of touches, kind of a middle ground all the way through. Good area for some downtrending pressure. So 390, you know, 85, 75, something, whatever you want to do, right? And then 391.50. Those would be about the triggers I would utilize for my calls long and short on a Q play off of the intraday. That's what I would be looking for, pushing wise, and trying to go for it. If we started triggering off of this line to the upside, I'd be going long, probably the 393 contracts, looking for the push to the upside. If we started triggering to the downside, I'd be looking for that 390, maybe 389, giving ourselves one day, you know, probably the 1 December contracts, looking out for that stuff as well. All right. Oh, excuse me. I want to look here. I did some scanners last night, and I wanted to look at a few stocks that we got. General Motors, interested in it. It has my attention, y'all, because we're starting to see some nice. Why do I got this big old box here? I don't know. There we go. General Motors, very interesting. Has my attention. We got some huge price movement. Look at this. Look at this. I think this was last night. Look at this. This is a huge drop for GM 31. Oh, that was like a $10 drop there, but it shot right back up. Okay. So this was just someone just dumping out. I wonder who that was. Just a big shot with a lot of money just dumping out of their position, you know, in after hours, just, you know, saying, you know what, GM, F it, I'm out. And they were like, boom, out. So, and then it came right back up. So no issues there. Coming into consolidation, looking really good. I like this for the break of the upside. I think $34 for GM is a good idea on this one right here. I think GM can do it. Let's look at when we look at the 4 hour chart, yeah, we noticed that we're flagging. So and we got a nice bull flag forming where we're looking like we're kind of wedging to the upside. So we got a nice flag, we got a nice ascending wedge formation off of this flag. I like the break to the upside. I think we can do it. Get the break, strong momentum, push. That'd be the next area right there. If you remember GM back, not too long ago. I mean, it's been a couple years. I say not too long ago. It's been a couple years. This was a stock that was, $50-$60. So you know, this is a good price. Share accumulation. Highly recommend share accumulation. If you like stocks, you want some of those forever stocks, and you want to hold on to some of those good legacy stocks. GM is one of those stocks. I would buy GM shares. I would go deep at this particular price, and on any type of dips, I would buy the dip on this one. 32, where are we at? $32 in pre-market, $32 in pre-market. Yeah. If you had the extra money just lying around, I'd buy 1,000 shares of this all day, every day, right now. Absolutely. And then I'd be working my way up to 5,000 shares of General Motors. This is one of those forever legacy stocks. Absolutely. Stellantis, not as much on that one. This one's interesting. I like this Crown Castle. Okay. This has been gaining a lot of momentum here lately. So we're looking at the 4 hour chart. Very classic step ladder and up, coming out of consolidation. Ladder one up, consolidate, ladder up, consolidate. Very classic step laddering up. I still think it has some more move up to 120. So I think we still got some push to 120. The issue with this one is they got activists coming in. I think Elliott, if I'm remembering correctly what I read, the Elliott activist is coming in. And if you remember, the Elliott people, they like to come into businesses that they see have struggling, usually fundamentally, and usually also with their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their corporate offices and stuff like that. Businesses are struggling like that, and they see holes that they can exploit essentially and make better so that they can profit from helping them out and making the stock rise. So I do think that they do a pretty decent job of what they do. And I think 120, yeah, absolutely. Premiums on this aren't too expensive, and I think you can probably do some leaps on this one, pushing out into 2024. You can make some good money on this one. Like I said, we got some gaps though, so I don't think we cool down to clear these gaps. We could, that'd be very, very unlikely though, because we got a lot of momentum coming on this one. I think we still get the push towards 120, and then we get to cool down. Oh, all right. Let's get to the chart everyone wants to see. Snow. Where are we at in snow? All right. Look, I did this chart yesterday. We're right at the battle zone in snow. Okay. Huge push. All right. Huge outside bar. Look at this movement. 194 to 175. Huge push, just like its predecessors, Panwall, just like or not predecessors, competitors, Panwall and Crowd. All right. So, we're expecting another push to the upside. So cool down from here a little bit. 194, looking like we're like 188 in pre-market. We're looking for more push to the upside. I'm looking for another push towards this area and probably a break. I'm looking for a try to test 200. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see that'd be about a $12 move from where we're at currently. I could see anywhere between a realistically an $8 to $12 move on snow if the momentum holds. All right. So definitely got some divergence going on though. The MACD pointing to the downside, right? Anytime you get this huge spike and then you get this cool down period, you're going to get some of this divergence, which is telling you that a trend reversal is highly likely, because you got this huge divergence here while you're still elevated, right? So that's what we're looking for. 4-hour chart too, looking like it. But look at this one. This one's interesting because on the 4-hour chart, look at where we're at. We're elevated, right? Elevated. We actually dip. So dip about 50-50 on this one, stay elevated, and now we're looking like we want to cross again to the upside. So, I think we kind of got this little wick, table, table, table. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why we shouldn't push for another leg to the upside. I mean, we're consolidating tight. Yes, we're wicking to the upside, so you're seeing some buyer's exhaustion. But when we come back down, we're extremely tight from the selling pressure. Okay. So, there's, yeah, I would be surprised if we get the selling pressure to the downside. However, just in case, we have our lower target line here, this 184, 185, right? Just in case we start to trigger that to the downside, we're going to go ahead and go short, but we want this long. We want this long. 200's the goal. Couple other. All right, guys. Tesla. Big day today for Tesla. All right. Cybertruck. All right. We get to find out what is about this Cybertruck. Okay. A lot of stuff happening today with Tesla. This is kind of a make or break thing. Tesla is kind of 50-50 on news events. Sometimes they blow it out to the park, right? Investors like, oh, this thing is awesome. Great. Boom, let's go ahead and jump into Tesla. And other people are like, this is lackluster, so, blah, right? Cybertruck has a lot of interest, okay? A lot of interest in the Cybertruck. It also has a lot of criticism too. Some people are like, what is this thing? This is not a truck. When people think of a truck, they think of the Ford, right? Ford F-150, Ford or Chevy guy, depending on who you are or whatever. But they think of a truck, traditional truck, right? Cybertruck, something different, a little sleeker design. I'm interested in the specs. What's the Cybertruck bringing us as far as specs? That's what's going to give us. They delivered the first 10 today, and that'll be interesting to see what the specs are, how they look. Kind of the whole environment upon which they're going to deliver it, to get us excited. And I'm looking for a little bit of a push. We got a little cup and handle starting to form here. I think we can get a push if we get a nice presentation. We can get the push to 250. Remember, Tesla loves this range. Okay, anytime we're in this 245 range, right? We start to look in 245. We start to look $2 above, $2 below, and then you look further out inside of that $5 up, $5 down. So $10 ranges, right? Basically, you give yourself a $10 range, and that's how you can chart Tesla. When you start charting Tesla, if you notice, you can start charting Tesla, and you look at where it's at currently. Just go up about $5 from where it's at currently. Put a line there. Go where it's at currently. Go down about $5. And put a line there, and then start looking to where the zeros are at, the 250s, the 255s, the 240s, the 245s. Tesla loves to trade in ranges that hit specific areas. Look at this, 250, 275, boom. And then you see the reversal, okay? Like so many people had their hits, their targets right at 250, 275, bing, and then came down, right? 242.76. Guarantee you a bunch of people had their levels here, because we were talking about this the other day, right? Here I had levels here, right? 2350, right? Was the level. Market makers saw that stuff from their little matrices that they used, stuff like that. And they went ahead and said, you know what? Boom, we're going to go ahead and sweep this, sweep it all, 1 cent off of the 75. And then you start to see the buying algos come in. Bam, buy, right? Okay. It's all dollars and cents. It's all algorithm trading now, guys. All right. But you just start putting those levels. Wherever Tesla's at, boom, go up $5, go down $5. That's your trading range. Give yourself $10. Then walk your way inside of it. Well, here, I'll show you what I mean. We'll break this down right here real quick on this chart. I already got it here. I like this range already, but we'll go ahead and break it down a little more in depth where we're at currently. Look at it here. All right. 46, right? All right. Oops. There we go. 46. I'm going to go ahead and put my range there. And I'm actually going to come up just a little bit because we got the table up here, right? I'm going to go ahead and put my range there. All right. And now this is our range, our trading range potential for the day. Okay. And these can also be our contracts. We can look for the 241 puts to the downside, 250 calls to the upside. And now all we're going to do, I'm giving you guys the secret sauce here. This is just, these are quick ways to do TA. Quick ways to do TA. There's a lot more involved in it, but if you're looking for just quick ways to do TA, these are quick ways, and then you start to develop a style, right? Probability lines. Go in between your high and your low, or your battle zone and your high. Put a 50-50 line. Bam. Go in between your battle zone and your low. 50-50 line. Bam. Now you got a level of probability. So you tell yourself, all right, Tesla, if you close above this battle zone area on a 5 or 15-minute chart, the high probability of at least a $2 push to this level here is high probability. I can go long to at least this point. If we start to exceed this point, then it's high probability for the flush towards this area, at least before we see resistance, right? We need to expect resistance here, but we get that close above here, we're expecting to push to this area. Boom, right? Same thing, close above here or close below here. We're expecting the flush towards this area. We can get bearish continuation through, but easy way to just kind of, there's more into it, but if you're looking for real easy ways to just kind of get lines, you're like, man, I want to make a trade on Tesla. Tesla's hot. I need to make a trade on Tesla. That's how you do it. Battle zone, give yourself 10, go in between those, and then you start working your interlines in between. You work from the center, go out, and then work your way back in. All right. There you go. A little bit. All right, guys. Hey, that's all I got for you. Just want to drop a little bit of a knowledge on you. We went over SPY, went over snow, went over Tesla. One more, I promise. One more. This is it. One more before we go. Meta. I've been telling you guys, put city, okay? Put city. That spread that we have, oh yeah, making money, baby, making money. Okay, I still think we got more move on this one. 330 is my zone where I'm headed towards. Okay, we knew this was happening when we saw this type of stuff here. Okay, when we started peaking up here, and we started getting this. This is when we started knowing that a move was impending and most likely to the downside. We stopped rising sharply, right? And our moving averages started converging on each other, okay? They started converging on each other. Notice we're wide here. Volatility is still spread, and we're still moving. Moving averages wide. Tracking along. Boom, 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 right? Moving averages start to get tighter, okay? Volatility is subsiding a little bit, right? Or momentum is subsiding a little bit. Now, our shorter moving averages are starting to converge on our longer moving average. We're starting to consolidate, okay? Even though you know most people are like, this is consolidation. No, consolidation is consolidating price action in a range, okay? What a range for Meta may not be a range for Apple, may not be a range for Tesla, may not be a range for SPY, for Q, so on and so forth, okay? Every stock is different, just like every person is different, every personality is different, so on and so forth, okay? Consolidation for a stock is going to look different, but what we're looking for is the indicators. Moving averages converging on each other, showing us consolidation of price action in range, giving us decision points either to the break to the upside, to the downside. We bet on the downside. We got confirmation, crosses here, boom, to downside, leg one down, consolidation mode. I bet we get another leg down. down here, 230. That's where we're headed before we start to see support kick in, because we've seen it before. We see support kicks in. Can we hold? Can we not hold? If we can't, then we're going to flush down again. It's just that simple, guys. That's simple. You just have to, the hardest part of it is being able to, because you can't time the market. The hardest part is having enough liquidity in your personal finances to be able to purchase the derivatives that afford you enough time to make the trade profitable. That's the hardest part, because a lot of people are going way out the money. Theta comes knocking at the door and they're losing money because they don't have, liquidity to buy the expensive at the money in the money contracts. Spreads help you take that out, because theta is essentially not a factor when you have a spread, because you're buying to open and you're selling to open at the same time, countering theta out. It's a great way to get some skin in the game, get a nice risk versus reward, and not really have to have much chance of it depreciating over time. As long as it goes in the direction that you're expecting it to go, you're going to be able to make some money. Our spreads are out until December 15th, right? And we only spent average cost is 91 per spread contract on that. Try doing that with a straight up put or a call for Meta. Woo! Premiums are jacked. You're not going to be able to get that price. Spreads you can, though. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Chuck Fu with TWR. Hope you got something out of this pre-market show. It's 7:30. Guys, get ready for the market. That bell is going to ring in about an hour. So make sure you got that money. Make sure your eyes are on, your coffee pots are going, and you're ready. And, you're ready for war. Catch you guys. See you later.